Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something that maybe doesn't get enough credit when we talk about movement.
Rhythm.
Exactly, rhythm. It's not just for dancing, right? It's
Yeah.
fundamental to mobility, performance, everything.
Absolutely. And, people often say, oh, I have no rhythm.
Yeah, I hear that all the time.
But as Terence Hughes famously put it,
I have no rhythm.
oh, yes, you have your raw rhythm, and here's your drum. Go bang it.
I love that. Here's your drum, go bang it. That's kind of our mission today, isn't it? Exploring that inner drum we all supposedly have.
It really is. It's this hitter superpower almost that we often ignore. We focus so much on strength, flexibility, the how of movement.
But not the when, the timing.
Precisely. The temporal architecture, the flow, and understanding that, well, it can unlock huge improvements.
Okay, so for this deep dive, we've looked at some science, some neuro stuff, biomechanics.
And some really practical ways to actually connect with this inner rhythm, stuff you can try yourself.
Right. So the goal is understand the inner drum, how it works biologically, and crucially, how we can harness it to move better, maybe more easily, more efficiently.
Let's do it. Let's bang that drum.
Okay, the science behind the beat. Where do we start? How does rhythm even, happen in our bodies?
Yeah. Well, a big piece of the puzzle is something called neural entrainment.
Neural entrainment. Okay.
Yeah, it basically means our brain's incredible ability to sync up movement to rhythms, whether they're coming from outside, like music, or generated internally.
So our brains are kind of wired for beats.
Totally.
Yeah.
Think about the examples in the research, like how people with Parkinson's sometimes find their walking improves dramatically if they listen to a metronome.
Wow, really?
Yeah, their brain literally latches onto that external beat and uses it to help organize the movement. The basal ganglia, the cerebellum, these parts of the brain are heavily involved in this timing aspect.
So it helps smooth things out.
It can, yeah. And it's not just for challenges like Parkinson's. Think about learning to dribble a basketball. At first, it's awkward, right? But eventually, it becomes automatic. That's neural entrainment at work. Your brain figures out the rhythm, predicts the bounce, and syncs your hand movement to it.
It just...
Exactly. Your internal choreographer gets the timing down.
All right, so rhythm helps control the when. What about efficiency? The sources mentioned it saves energy. How?
Well, think about smooth flowing movement versus jerky, hesitant movement. Which one feels like it takes more effort?
The jerky stuff, for sure.
Right. And studies back this up. Runners with a more regular, consistent stride tend to use less energy. It's like your body finds the most economical way to perform the movement when it locks into a good rhythm.
Minimizing wasted effort, like finding the groove.
That's a great way to put it. Your inner drum helps optimize how much energy you spend.
Okay, that makes sense. But it's not just our brain hearing a beat, is it? The sources talked about feeling rhythm in the body. Proprioceptive pulsing. What's that?
Ah, yeah, that's super interesting. It gets into where rhythm lives in the body. It's not just auditory or mental. It's embodied.
Embodied? How
But-
so?
Our muscles and tendons have these amazing sensors, muscle spindles, Golgi tendon organs. And during really skilled movements, they fire rhythmically.
Like they pulse.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine a boxer's footwork, that constant bounce and shift, or a gymnast's swing on the bars. There's an underlying rhythmic firing happening in their muscles and tendons, feeding information back to the brain. It's a felt sense of rhythm.
So good movement actually feels rhythmic internally. Our tissues are sort of keeping time.
In a way, yes. It
Yeah.
contributes to both the control and the sensation of fluid movement.
Wow. Okay, so rhythm is scientific, it's efficient, it's felt in the body. Why do we miss it so often in training? Why isn't this front and center?
Well, one big reason the sources pointed out is the confusion between external and internal rhythm.
You mean like working out to music versus something else?
Exactly.
Oh.
Music is great. It can motivate, provide a beat to follow, but that's external. Truly great movers, the ones who seem effortless, think Messi, think Federer. They aren't just following a beat. They're generating their own rhythm. The sources used a great phrase. It's the difference between dancing to the song and being the song.
Being the song. I like that. So they create the flow themselves.
Precisely. It's self-generated.
Right.
And the other issue is our obsession with mechanics.
What do you mean? Like focusing too much on technique?
Yeah, kinematics. We analyze joint angles, force production, muscle activation, the how, which is important, obviously. But we often neglect the when, the temporal architecture, the timing and sequencing that makes the mechanics actually work. A golf swing isn't just strong muscles, it's the incredible rhythmic coordination of firing those muscles in the right order at the right instant.
Ah, okay. So technique without rhythm is kind of incomplete.
You could say that. It's like having all the right words, but no sense of set and structure or flow.
Got it. Okay, this is clicking. So let's get practical. How do we start tuning into this inner drum? How do we train it? The sources had some ideas.
They did. And they're quite accessible. One simple idea is using unmetronome drills.
So ditching the music or the click track.
For some exercises, yes. Performance skill could be anything. Shooting baskets, practicing footwork without an external beat. Just feel your natural rhythm.
And what does that do?
It makes you aware of your inherent tempo. And once you feel it, you can start playing with it. Can I speed it up slightly? Can I make this transition smoother by adjusting the cadence?
So first find your baseline, then learn to manipulate it. Makes sense. What about silent counting? That sounded interesting.
Yeah, that's about building an internal template. For a complex move with, say, 3 parts, you might mentally count 1, 2, hold, 3.
Like adding little pauses or emphasis internally.
Exactly. It forces you to break down the movement rhythmically in your mind, improving the sequence and timing. It's like building a little rhythmic map for the action.
I can see that being useful for like martial arts katas or maybe even weightlifting technique.
Definitely. And then there's chaos training.
Chaos training. Sounds counterintuitive if we're talking rhythm.
Well, it's about making your rhythm more adaptable. Think of agility ladder drills, but where the rungs are spaced irregularly.
Ah, so it messes with your expected pattern.
Right. It forces your internal metronome to constantly readjust to find the rhythm again quickly after being thrown off. It builds rhythmic resilience.
Learn to recalibrate on the fly. Okay, and the last one was breath rhythm pairing.
Super fundamental. Our breath is our most basic, constant rhythm.
Yeah, true.
So consciously linking movement phases to your inhale and exhale, like inhaling as you draw back a bow, exhaling as you release, or in tennis, inhaling on the toss, exhaling on the hit.
Does that help with power or just flow?
Both, potentially. It syncs the movement to this deep primal rhythm, which can improve coordination, power transfer, and just make the whole thing feel more integrated.
Breath as the anchor rhythm. I like that. Okay, so we use these methods. What's the big payoff? The sources talked about bridging a mystery.
Yeah, the mystery is kind of that gap between knowing what to do consciously, the explicit instructions, bend your knees, keep your head up, and actually doing it smoothly and automatically, that subconscious groove.
Implicit learning.
Exactly. Rhythm training taps into that implicit side. You focus on the flow, the timing, and you let your body sort of discover the most efficient way to move within that rhythmic structure. It's less thinking, more feeling the groove.
So it helps automate good movement patterns.
That's the idea. And there's another crucial angle. Injury prevention.
How does rhythm connect to getting injured?
Think about landing from a jump. If your timing is off, if your landing is arrhythmic, you might absorb the force unevenly or awkwardly.
Putting weird stress on joints.
Precisely. Bad timing can lead to mistimed force absorption. Landing slightly offbeat could put extra strain on your knees, ankles, hips, potentially leading to things like ACL tears or sprains. Good rhythm helps distribute forces more smoothly.
So rhythm isn't just performance, it's protection too. That's huge.
It really is. Which leads to that powerful idea from the sources.
The best athletes don't move to rhythm. They are rhythm.
Exactly. It's not an add-on. It's the organizing principle.
Huh.
The best movers embody it. It's inherent in how they operate.
Okay, this sets the stage perfectly for the next part, which I found fascinating. Connecting these ideas to specific cultural rhythms. Samba, cha-cha, capoeira. Why those?
Right. This is where it gets really cool. Bridging culture and biomechanics. These aren't just dances. They're like movement systems refined over generations.
How so? What's special about samba, for instance?
Samba's all about those pelvic movements, right? That undulation. Turns out that specific action trains something called cross-lateral hip dissociation.
Meaning?
Being able to move your hips somewhat independently from your torso. Crucial for cutting and changing direction in sports.
Like soccer or basketball.
Exactly. But also really important for balance, especially preventing sideways falls, which is a big issue as people get older.
Wow, so samba hips are actually training functional movement. What about cha-cha-cha, that triple step?
That quick, slow rhythm. It's fantastic for drilling rapid weight transfer. Think about needing to shift your weight suddenly, like in defensive shuffles in basketball, or even just catching yourself after a stumble.
Practicing that quick shift under instability.
Precisely. It trains your body to accept and redistribute weight quickly and efficiently.
And capoeira. It looks so fluid, almost like a fight and a dance mixed together.
Yeah, capoeira, especially the basic Jenga movement, the constant flowing, often angular and asymmetrical swing. It's like a proprioceptive workout.
Proprioceptive, meaning body awareness.
Exactly. It constantly forces your body to figure out where it is in space, to recalibrate its sense of balance and position. It seriously boosts spatial awareness and dynamic stability.
And the science behind this, how do these rhythms affect the brain?
Well, they strongly activate timing circuits in the cerebellum, which is key for motor control. And because these movements involve balance and navigating space, they strengthen the connections between your motor system, your inner ear's balance sensors, the vestibular system, and your visual system.
It's like a full-body, multi-system tune-up disguised as dance.
Pretty much. These cultural forms are packed with neurobiomechanical wisdom.
Okay, let's talk applying this. Rhythmic stealth training for sports. Sounds sneaky.
It's about subtly weaving these rhythmic principles into regular sports drills. For example, take ladder drills for agility.
Yeah.
Instead of just running through them, you add a samba hip pulse. Maybe 2 hip movements for every 3 steps. It forces you to decouple your hip-torso movement from your leg speed.
Making you more stable while moving your limbs quickly, like dribbling while running.
Exactly that. Or for combat sports, practicing the esquiva from capoeira, that rhythmic dipping, dodging movement.
How does that help a fighter?
It trains you to slip punches using an offbeat rhythm, making you harder to hit, while simultaneously loading your body for a counterpunch. It disrupts the opponent's timing.
Using rhythm as a weapon, almost. What about the cha-cha for sprinters? That seems odd.
It sounds it, but that quick, slow, quick footwork pattern can actually help prime the specific rhythm needed for exploding out of the starting blocks, getting that initial drive and transition right.
Interesting. You mentioned a specific drill, too, the Samba reactive defensive shuffle.
Right. So imagine mirroring an opponent's side-to-side shuffles, like in basketball defense.
Okay.
Now, while doing that, you consciously add that samba hip pulse, maybe pulsing twice for every 3 shuffles. It forces split attention, react to the opponent, and maintain your internal rhythm. It's tough, but it builds incredible coordination under pressure.
That sounds like it would fry your brain at first.
It definitely challenges you, but that's how you improve.
Okay, switching gears slightly, but using the same ideas, applying this to help older adults, specifically with fall prevention, how does cha-cha help there?
Well, think about that cha-cha balance challenge. Doing that triple step pattern, maybe over slightly uneven surfaces like foam pads, it directly trains that rapid weight acceptance we talked about. Many falls happen during transition, stepping over something, turning quickly. This drill simulates that in a safe way.
Building confidence in handling those shifts. What about the capoeira chair drill, the Jenga, while seated?
That gentle rocking back and forth with opposite arm swings, it's training anticipatory postural control.
Meaning preparing for instability before it happens.
Exactly. Your body learns to make tiny adjustments before it loses balance, rather than just reacting afterwards.
And the samba sit to stand. Just getting up from a chair with a rhythm.
Yeah. Adding that slight pelvic oscillation as you rise strengthens the hip muscles through a fuller range, especially focusing on controlling the movement both up and down. Strong hips are key for full recovery.
And there was actual data on this, right? A study showing Latin dance reduced falls.
Yes. A 2023 study in gait and posture found Latin dance cut falls in older adults by 41%. It was better at improving dynamic balance than standard exercise programs.
41%. That's significant. It really shows the power of rhythmic movement for stability.
Absolutely. It's practical, engaging, and clearly effective.
So how do we scale this? Can anyone do it? You mentioned rhythm layers.
Yeah, rhythm layers is a way to teach or learn complex rhythmic movement progressively. You start simple. Layer 1, just the feet, get the basic step pattern down. Layer 2, add the hips, isolate that samba sway or cha-cha shift. Layer 3, bring in the arms and torso, maybe the counter rotation you see in capoeira. Layer 4, eyes and intention looking one way while moving another, adding that layer of complexity and awareness.
Building it up piece by piece, how would you regress that for someone less mobile?
You could start seated, just tapping hands to different rhythms, samba, cha-cha. It primes the neural timing circuits even without complex whole body movement. It's about getting the brain engaged first.
And for athletes looking for a bigger challenge.
Add reactive cues. Whistle means change rhythm instantly. Point means change direction but keep the rhythm. It forces adaptability under pressure.
It links back to that idea that humans probably learned movement through dance and rhythm long before formal sports.
Exactly. We're tapping into something ancient, almost evolutionary. These rhythms aren't arbitrary. They seem to hack our automatic stability systems by introducing this sort of patterned unpredictability. It forces the brain to level up its motor control.
Okay, one more fascinating tool. Body percussion. Using slaps and taps.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Slapping your thighs, chest clapping, it creates a somatosensory rhythm. You feel it directly on your skin, in your body.
More direct than just hearing music.
Often, yes.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful grounding cue, almost like giving yourself an external heartbeat to follow.
How would you use that in a drill?
Okay, basketball example again. Dribble the ball, and with each bounce, slap your left thigh. Keep that rhythm. Then do a crossover dribble, and immediately switch to slapping your right thigh with each bounce.
Ah, linking the rhythm to the action and coordinating sides.
Right. Or, for balance, an older adult could stand and gently tap alternate shoulder, then alternate knee, to a slow, steady beat. If they feel wobbly, sometimes increasing the tempo of the tap slightly can actually help them find their stability again.
That's clever, using the self-generated rhythm to stabilize. And the tip about asymmetrical patterns, like right thigh, left chest.
Yeah, that really challenges cross-body coordination, forces the two sides of the brain and body to integrate more effectively.
And the beauty is it's low-tech, but high neuroscience.
Totally. It's using multi-sensory integration, touch, sound from the flap, movement, all reinforcing the same rhythmic pattern. Super effective, and you can make the patterns as simple or complex as needed. Plus, you're tapping into global traditions of body percussion.
And the science note, clapping activating the superior temporal gyrus.
Yeah, that's a brain area involved in processing sound and linking it to motor planning. So when you clap a rhythm, you're kind of giving your motor system an auditory preview of the movement. Hear the rhythm, then do the rhythm.
This is all incredibly cool. So for listeners thinking, okay, I'm sold, I want to explore my inner drum, where's a simple place to start?
Honestly, just start moving consciously. Go for a walk. But instead of just walking, pay attention to the rhythm of your steps. Can you feel it? Can you count it silently? 1, 2, 1, 2.
Just bringing awareness to it.
Exactly. Or try some gentle jogging in place, feeling the bounce. Even shadow boxing, feel the rhythm in your weight shifts and punches. Chair exercises work too, tapping feet, swinging arms rhythmically while seated.
You don't need fancy equipment or a dance class necessarily.
Not at all. Remember, center court at Wimbledon was mentioned. Even elite athletes operate on rhythm. And that little phrase, 123.12 equals sausage, egg, and chips.
Yeah.
It sounds silly, but it gives you a simple rhythmic phrase to feel. The key is linking, saying, and moving. If you say it, you can play it. If you say it, you can move to it.
Find a simple beat, internalize it, move to it.
Yes. Even knowing the basic feel of Samba 4/4 with accents on 1 and 3 gives you something to play with. The main thing, as the sources urge, is to go carnival.
Embrace the joy and expression in it.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to experiment. Be playful. Find the beat within you.
It's about rediscovering something innate.
Exactly. Remember, Hughes, you are rhythm. Here's your drum. Go bang it. It's already there.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, what's the absolute core takeaway for everyone listening?
It's simple, really. You do have rhythm. Forget the I can't dance excuse. It's fundamental to how you move. And it's a massively underused tool for improving mobility, performance, and even preventing injuries, whatever your starting point.
And the call to action.
Just experiment. Try those simple exercises. Walk with awareness. Tap your foot. Feel the rhythm in everyday movements. Start listening to, and maybe even playing with, your own inner drum.
Maybe a final thought to leave everyone with.
Just consider this. What if understanding and connecting with your inherent rhythm could completely change how you approach moving your body? Could it make things feel more intuitive, maybe more efficient, possibly even more joyful?
Definitely something to think about. A huge thanks for unpacking all of that with us today.
My pleasure. Go bang those drums.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.